Well, hello, everybody. It is Dionne D. Hunter, and we are here to start the next edition of Mic Check uh, Brushes and Melodies. We have some exciting guests for you tonight. You will not be disappointed, and I am so glad to have you here with us this evening. Um, you know, I'm going to introduce these folks, but I'm also going to actually allow you to see some of their artwork because I believe for this type of artistry, you actually need to see it in action. So let me start off with Aisha Thomas. Aisha is a Bronx, New York native who goes by the name Sketch Queen 40. She derives that from starting out as a sketch artist and developing her skills as a painter. Sketch Queen is known for using the mediums of acrylic in her painting to express her creativity through various visions, but her passion is abstract art. So let me give you a little bit of her before we bring her up on the screen here. I'm going to share with you. Hope everybody's doing okay. Okay, so uh, this is some of Aisha's work. Very vibrant colors. Okay, and we'll talk more to her about that in just a moment. And our second guest for the evening is Spunk Adams. Now, Spunk is an award-winning saxophonist from from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He has and produced numerous songs which can be found on all digital platforms. Spunk Adams has opened for the likes of Layla Hathaway and Chrisette Michele, and is the first artist to have been featured in Oklahoma City's Thunder Magic spotlight. He leads a full jazz band as well as a jazz trio and has, he is so great that he also does solo gigs as well. And that's, of course, where I met Spunk. Spunk has traveled and toured and shared the stage with smooth jazz legends such as Adam Hawley and Julian Bond. And he is sure to go on and on and on from there. So let me bring up a little bit of Spunk here. And this is from Purple New Balance. Okay. So now let me bring on. I know you all were enchanted by those two. Oh, I also want to let you know that you can also send your questions in if you have any, and we'll see if Spunk or Aisha feel like answering them for you. So let's see if I can get them on the line here. Give me just a moment. So, what have you are you guys ready for this fall weather? I know I'm not. But while we're waiting, I want to let you know that um, I met both of these folks uh, because I was looking for talent for a night of artistic renewal. So, okay, well, here's Aisha. So let me bring her up on here first, and then Spunk will join us in a moment.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Looking beautiful as always.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and here is Spunk. So let's bring on Spunk. Spunk, there you are.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing
Hi, how
awesome.
you
Doing
doing?
awesome. I don't
Good.
know. Did you guys get to see your intros?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you liked them.
I'm done.
Um, now, let me start off with Aisha. So, now I know that from interviewing you during a night of artistic renewal that
Hmm.
you began painting because of your father
Yes, my
wanted
father was
to.
actually the original artist in the family.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I don't recall a lot. I just remember growing up in my earlier years, I would say my childhood years, I remember my father, he was an actual architecture engineer. He worked in the World Trade Center back in the days when I was really young. I guess that was in the 70s. But anyway, I remember he would come home every day. He had a special room, would be his artist room. So he would have his. He was not just an artist; he was also a photographer. He did a lot of sketches for because he was architect, so he did a lot of different things in his room, this specific room that he worked. What we call it his work room, and every now and then, and he would teach me how to practice to make like little small. Like I think the first thing I drew was like an elephant, but it wasn't really, it wasn't it was close to it, but that was the first thing I remember drawing. But I remember seeing on the wall, he would have these paintings of like Jimmy Carter, Archie Bunker, like Martin Luther King. He would have all these like really beautiful drawings and paintings. He did a lot of abstract art as well. So it started from there, just observing him every time he would get off from work, and go in that workroom and actually watch him go to work with the canvases, or just as far as the photography go, just observing and learning from my dad. So that kind of sparked me later on down in life. I didn't really do it. I always sketch, and I did a lot of sketching and doodling when I was a kid. But as I got older, started maybe more like high school, I took it more serious because at that time, I actually I was in middle school and I won a contest. I
Well,
had
you know what? Let me stop you right there because I want
okay.
to hear that story. But I
Hmm.
also let me get Spunk in here so we can have a communal effect here.
Okay.
So, Spunk, tell us a little bit about where did your love of music start?
My love of music. I probably since birth, I was one of those kids that played the pots and the pans in the kitchen, and so I was playing drums by the time I was like 2 years old. I grew up in church. When I got to middle school, that's when I guess you could say I started learning music, some stuff which I already had just known through this experience in life. But I guess that's when you start learning music. So I picked up the saxophone then,
Mm.
like through high school, and after high school, I went on to just start performing professionally. And but the music is I can't really say when it started because it's always been there.
So now, like what Aisha was saying was that she had a family member that was into the arts. Um, Now you mentioned going to church, which probably all of us have been on that church pew. But did you get that? Now you said from birth, but were there any family members that were into instruments, or was it from the church that kind of got you going more, or was it just you just naturally being born with it?
My stepfather plays saxophone, but it didn't come from him. Like I said, I was already into music by the time he had came into my life too. So he just
Oh,
like, oh, he's actually a big deal when it comes to music. So, but no, it was just in my way God,
DNA.
my DNA.
That's awesome. I mean, shoot, everybody, I know everyone wishes that they knew what they were put on earth to do.
Right.
And, that's special just to know, I know that I want to be a musician, and then to be able to do it and actually do it successfully. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But thank you.
Mhm. Aisha, so when you started actually painting, you said that you went into middle school and that you won the contest. So how did that are you muted? Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
oh, sorry, there we go.
That's okay.
Sorry.
How did that change your trajectory?
It just made me want to go more and more in that direction. As far as me being more creative, that's where I think it kind of really started. But it really stemmed from growing up. I was a foster care child after my father passed away at a young age,
Wow.
and the way I expressed myself at that age, at that time, I used art to express, the pain or the things that I was feeling. But I would make beautiful things out of it. Like I would take my pain and I would turn it into something beautiful. Because growing up, I literally watched my father pass away, and I watched my mom mentally go through a difficult time in her life with being a single mom and not having our father, in the household. And so that built up a lot of stress. And with me being a young individual, I didn't know how to express pain to others. So I would, bottle it up, or I would put it on paper. But like I said, I that those emotions, and I would turn it into something beautiful. And that kind of pushed me more towards art. If anything, it motivated me to be more. It would take me away. Like some people use cigarettes as a way to go to get away from a problem, or I took art and made that my getaway, or my sanctuary. It just was my healing point. That helped me heal personally. Yeah, through
Okay.
any trauma that I've gone through. Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry to hear about your dad and the family situation, but it
Mhm.
looks, from everything I know about you, it looks like
Mhm.
just climbed that
Oh, I'm
ladder
pretty strong. I think the man above, thank God for God, he has gave me that support and kept me strong. And I do agree. I think that when we find something that gives us that push or that pull, or that little bit of strength, that's what motivates us, and that's going to push us even more to keep going. Because I mean, nobody wants to go backwards, or feel like they're sinking. So
Right.
yeah, it's always a good outlet.
Yeah, 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 most definitely. And I got another point on that in just a moment.
Mhm.
Spunk. So one, you were born with the talent. So how did you go from, playing at home or to entertain yourself to the next level, whatever that next level was? Oh, you're muted, honey.
There we go. So it's funny. A lot of people will ask my dad. They'll say, where did you teach him, or where did he get his chops from, or how did he learn? And I always get asked, what college did I graduate from? Well, truth be told, I didn't finish music school. I only went for a semester. And
Oh,
so
wow.
my dad tells the story. He says I got my training in the streets. You know, I spent countless hours just in Oklahoma City downtown, wherever I could, and I would play outside. Sometimes I would play the practice. Sometimes I would just play to release what the frequency I wanted to release in the atmosphere from my horn. And sometimes I would play because I wanted to make some extra cash that day.
How old were you then?
This would have been right out of high school. So, I mean, I graduated at 17. So,
Wow, okay.
so I would just go downtown and I would just play. And in doing that, it took away, people ask you, do you ever get nervous? I learned how to read people. I learned attracted people with things feel uncomfortable as well. And so when I took that training ground and kind of moved into the professional field, started, doing business with other people, meeting up clubs and things like that. And that's kind of how it just got going.
Wow. Okay. So did you meet people who were able to help you move on your next level by, playing that way?
Yeah, I've met countless people that have helped me with that. Like I've roommate, one of my best friends since we were kids. We lived in the same house together. He ended up, he moved on. His career moved a little bit faster than mine because I remember he actually ended up touring for Prince. And so, but I say that to say that it's always been people in the direction I've been moving in. That's what keeps me in the knowing that I'm moving in the right direction sometimes. And so it's definitely been people that's been along the road to be like, okay, this can help the momentum of where we're going.
Okay. So having friends, making those connections, being, I think, courageous, because at a young age, going out there and having the courage to put yourself on the line out in front of public is a major facet of your success. Because there's a lot of people who play, who draw, who do all types of things, and they're afraid to let people into that inner space.
Right.
Well, it becomes sort of like a blanket, like a security blanket for some, and most artists, I believe. I mean, just like I said, I use my art to hide certain pains that I've dealt with growing up as a child. But of course, that art turned into something, spectacular for me, because it took me to a comfort zone where I was comfortable enough to not only express my art, but be able to say it verbally as to why it derived. Because at one point I wouldn't give you a reason why I painted. I would just, so
the reason for your painting is to express your emotions.
Yeah. Artists, and just even in music, I mean, it's an emotional thing. I don't know about it goes, but I do know that even when I'm listening to music, I'm not a musician, but when I listen to music, I feel that through my soul, through my body. Those emotions are there. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Spunk, have you played with visual artists before, like live painting type situations?
Actually I have, yes. I've done it a lot.
And what do you think that mixture of art and music does, to the crowd or to the spirit or whatnot?
I think they go hand in hand, but the crowd has to be in they have to be in a mode to where they can receive as well. In order to really understand, like she said, the emotion through her painting, or even the emotion through music, you really don't need to be distracted. And so a lot of times, especially in the world we live in 2024, there's so many distractions. And if we could all just settle down just a little bit and really look at the art behind her, taking her piece. What is she saying? Why is she saying it? Listen to the way he played that note. Why did he play it that way? What is he trying to say? If we, slow down and we can do that, we can make those connections like we had back in the day.
And art and music definitely is a connection.
Yeah. Any type of creativity, I think, is art. Like, but like I said, with all our distractions, sometimes we miss the beauty in it.
Yeah, my sister is always getting on me because I videotape everything and record. I'm showing my age by saying videotape, but I record everything when I'm out and about, and she wants me to be more focused in. And I feel like I'm focused, but to your point, that does make a difference. Hearing you play, like at a night of artistic renewal, when you stepped out in front of that stage, it brought goosebumps up on my
Yeah, I
arm.
shared that. I definitely
Yeah,
shared it. It was nice. It was
yeah,
really,
yeah.
really nice. Like I must admit, that was pure sheer, how I say, sheer talent. That was really nice.
I appreciate it. Like
Mhm.
I said earlier, a lot of my training has come through. Um, I think anything that you express, whether it be visual, painting, art, music, anything that you express that
Mhm.
comes from your creative spirit, if your intentions are good, the message
Mhm.
is well.
Mhm.
I think
Yes.
I
that's the best way
agree. Mhm.
that you can. If people have pure intentions with their art, it reaches who it's supposed to reach.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I believe that. I believe that who's ever in the room with you at the time is meant to be there, and they're meant to be there for a reason. I can agree with that. Even
Mhm.
with me and spoken word, everybody doesn't like everything, but the person that's supposed to be there is there to hear that message that that's a person has to give, and that message can come through art, or it can come through music, or it can come through spoken word. Um, Now, Aisha, you have a lot of things going on. You actually work. Uh, yeah, she like,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I stay busy. Well, I'll be at the Mint Museum this coming Wednesday. It's for the Arts Endowments Program. Actually, Anthony Hamilton will be there. A couple of other people from the Mint Museum. It's going to be a huge. It's not a private event, but it's a huge charity event. So the rich gonna come out. They're gonna, cheer us on and bring us the good junk food. Now, but anyway, I'll be out there, and the cool about it, I'll have a little bit of exposure that I needed. I've never been at the Mint Museum, so this will be so I'm excited about that. And then
Will you have some paintings? Will you be
yeah, my
live
painting
painting,
will
or
be
they'll be out?
it'll be three artists. So one will be artist, and Carla, she's another artist, and myself, Sketch Queen 40. We will be displayed within the museum at the Art Endowments Program. So they're fun.
And how do they get the tickets?
They can purchase the tickets through the Arts Endowments website. Just click on um, the program that says Shine for 2024 for Charlotte Mint Museum, or they can go on to the Mint Museum, and I think they can purchase the tickets through there. Now the tickets are $150, but you are going to be up and close and personal with Anthony Hamilton. I'm not mistaken. Crossing fingers that Debbie Allen would show up, so that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
And you, shoot, you the $100 in that ticket, girl.
Yeah.
What
So
day is that again?
that's big for me. And Miss Monique Douglas, she will be also there. So it's actually
Okay.
been curated through another curator that she knows, and they picked us as the upcoming artist, which is a blessing. So
And what day
yeah,
is that?
that is actually this Wednesday on the 16th.
Oh, okay.
At it starts at 6 p.m. But they
Okay.
want us there, I think, at 4.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
now I saw your of course, I've heard your music, and then I was on there listening to your albums, and you've been on so many things. Tell me, what do you have coming up?
Ah, I'm, I'm trying to finish music right now. I'm doing a lot of private work. I'm in between Charlotte and New York right now,
Oh,
and so I'm trying to get some music out. Doing a lot of private work. Really, I haven't been doing a lot of public shows, honestly, just because my schedule's been so tight. Um, but I do have. I know I did a feature a couple months ago at Middle C, and I know I'm supposed to have another one coming up here soon. So I'll definitely get you the information for that. But the private work and studio work, and does that?
blowing up.
It says
So,
through the roof.
private work. You mean like me hiring you for a night of artistic renewal? Would that be private work? Is that what you mean?
Uh,
Or what does that mean exactly?
When I say
Maybe
private
working
work,
with a private art, like it's a private session with maybe a specific artist.
it could be a studio session work with a
Mm-hmm.
specific artist. It could be
Uh-huh.
personal
Yeah,
weddings. Like
that's kind of cool.
I flew to Oklahoma City. What's today? Today's Sunday. I was in Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
City. Oh, yesterday, duh. Wedding. So when I say private work, I mean stuff like that. So my public
Yeah.
work, like your regular club or your regular jazz
Mm-hmm.
that come buy a
Mm-hmm.
ticket, and so private work is like it's not open to the public kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So now you're on streaming platforms, I'm sure.
On all streaming platforms, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what, if they were just getting into, if we're talking to the public here and we're like, they want to get to know you and the type of artist you are, which album or song is Spunk?
I would Now my wife would disagree. Hopefully she's not listening. I would say go check out. I have a song called Now. It's off the album Colors that I'm still working to complete, but the song is called Now. That is out everywhere. I'm actually singing on that song too. It's kind of a bossa nova jazz kind of vibe song, and it's really a peaceful song. That's where I would start.
Okay. It's called Now.
Now, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And right after this, I'm gonna click on Now and get and download it. I'm gonna download it for you. Okay. Now, so I actually met Aisha like, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I was your the host for
The
your
event.
event.
So we were
I
at
was replacing Miss Monique.
So I met her because she was taking care of the venue at another spot where we were having a different volume of a night of artistic renewal. And that's a perfect example of connections, and also on both sides treating each other with respect and, just bridging those gaps because it was actually, when I started looking for the artist for a night of artistic renewal, representation equals power, I'm just searching all over for different artists, and I came across Sketch Queen and loved the art and did not even realize that it was Aisha. That it
I
was
get
her
that a lot.
on the spot. So, I'm reaching out to her like, hey, do you want to come be a part of my show? This is what it's about. And she was like, So, and I'm bad with names and faces, but her Instagram is Sketch Queen 40. So I just didn't put it together. So let me ask you real quick, because I know you have an appointment that you got to get to, but why did you accept the invitation to be a part? And this is coming to you too, Spunk. Why did you accept the invitation to be a part of a night of artistic renewal? Representation equals power.
Well, when I first saw the original one that you had that wasn't televised or wasn't at an event like you did at the Blumenthal. Before that, remember we had it at Studio 229, and I love how you represented African American culture, but just African culture in a mix of general, and how you spoke of the history of it and intertwined it with all the different genres that we had going on as far as the music, the dancing, and that took me away. So then when you reached out to me, but when I saw it the last time, you had an artist I didn't know. He was a music artist. I can't never say his name good, but he was out. He was doing a little rap and music mix.
Oh, you're talking about Spencer. Spencer.
That's right, Spencer. So I known Spencer from the Vapa Center. And we went out there to visit, and then he had this song, and I just like, oh my God, you really need to be making an album. Like I was like, that sounds fire. Then I turned around, I see him on the night of artistic renewal, and so I was like, this is really cool. Like I see that it's developing. I want to be a part of it. And when you see and it's positive, it's a positive light. It's educational. I work in education, so for me, it was just right up my alley. It was definitely right up my alley. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you fit in just right, and you made such a difference to the program. So we are so happy that you accepted. Now, along those same lines, Spunk. Now you're a traveling musician. You're doing tours. You're doing private events, like you said, going from here to New York. Doing your thing. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Okay.
There you go.
So tell me, why did you accept now you can't recommend it. I was looking for a musical artist, and your name came up several times, and then when I looked into you and got on the YouTube and whatnot, I was like, yes, gotta have them. So tell me, what though made you decide to be a part of a night of artistic renewal?
Well, I'll say first, it's very interesting that I came up because I had been in Charlotte for a year and a half, maybe.
Know that.
Right. So I'm, like I said, I've been in Oklahoma my whole life. My wife graduated from Chapel Hill, and so she was out here. So I moved to Charlotte, but I've only been here for a year and a half, and so it was very. I'm glad that someone was able to get my name to you, but it's also strange. I'm like, I didn't really know anybody out here, but that's how it works for me. And one thing that I look at when I'm doing business or doing an event is the professionalism. Is how it's shopped, how it's approached, how I'm seeing it. My first introduction, and I like to see Black excellence. I like to see venues and people that are pushing natural art. And what I mean by like natural art, like you have the painters, we have the vocalists, we have the saxophones. It wasn't a whole bunch of digital social media algorithm mess, right? As you can tell by now, I hate all of it, right? So when I see Black excellence pushing our roots, stuff that we came up on, spoken word, painting, jazz, art, and it's being brought to me in a package that's reputable. Those are things I look for and make me want to do and make me want to play and work with people like yourself and what you have going on. Because I mean, this is well, we've all been in those situations to where people want to work with you and do something, and just like, well, this is how we prepared for this. This is not.
Right.
But we want to always try to offer our best. So when I see other colleagues, especially Black colleagues, offering their best, I'm on board.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now the two things I want to touch on. So education, school, Aisha, you spoke about that. And I wanted to acknowledge that the arts, when kids are introduced to arts in the schools or had an opportunity to perform arts in the school, they are so much more likely to stay in school. They like school. They asking, is it school today? And they move on above the grade school and middle school and high school and college. Those kids are the ones that continue on. And they help with the any emotional healing that the kids need. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then the next thing I wanted to ask y'all about is that, we got a movie coming up, right? Yeah.
Strong J.
Right. So the stage production was recorded. And then now we took that and it was edited for the big screen. Now the production, the event series, the Night of Artistic Renewal, is presently on Amazon Prime, and it's on Tubi and several other platforms. But we wanted to do this one even bigger because you learn from every experience, right? Yeah. I learned from that experience, and then we came over here, and I'm like, you know what? These people deserve to be seen. I mean, you're already seen, but I want to explode that, have us everywhere. So we got this big screening coming up at the Independent Picture House on on November the 9th. Dress to Impress is like some of the stuff you know about Spunk, getting all dressed up and going down, with the paparazzi, pop, 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 it's champagne and appetizers, the whole 9 yards. And then after that, we're having a Q&A with any artists who are available to come out and see the show, so that the clientele will have the chance to ask you all or anyone there questions about your what gets you going, or whatever they want to ask, really.
Right.
So how do you feel? Have either one of you all been in a movie before?
Nope.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
Uh-oh.
So what is it?
But I don't know. See, I don't know. I swear that I have that, but I don't think it was on purpose.
See that what I just said, you got it all going on. You was probably playing and somebody clipped you and put you into one of these movies, or your music could actually be a backdrop.
Well, that's weird, because I know I've done some screening before for different movies that have been pilots and stuff like that. So that's why I always say, I don't know. But if I have, somebody owe me some money. Right.
So this, how do you feel about, are you anxious to see the final product?
Of course. I can't wait to share and see it, and I'm excited for all the other artists as well. Not just myself. That's a great boost for anybody that's trying to be out there.
Yeah. We have spoken word artists, African dance, urban ballroom dance. We have a songstress, rapper. Shoot, I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Just if you name it, we got it. But it's all in a central theme of representation equaling power. And so it will be an uplifting experience. And because, we took it down to 90 minutes, where the entire show was like 2.5 hours. So we were able to take all of it was exceptional, but we were able to take the best parts and put it onto the screen and package. So now, before we're getting down to, we got about 5 minutes left. So tell me, is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that we knew about, or that you have coming up, or that I want to know what your wife's favorite song is. You told us yours is Now, but what's your wife's favorite song?
What's the name of that song?
I done put him on the spot.
Yeah.
She likes Project 43 Second. I have a song called Project 43 that's out everywhere, but that's not it. It's called Shoreline. Her song called The Shoreline. A lot of my music is very peaceful. That's just how I write. I write peaceful music, things that I feel are peaceful. So a lot of my music is kind of flowy, vibey, lo-fi, if you want to call it that. I have some what's the word? Media appropriate, I guess, smooth jazz songs out. But a lot of the things that I write resembles what I piece,
I'm looking forward to hearing the one where you're, and is now the one where you said where you're singing and playing the sax.
My boyfriend was saying he digs him. My boyfriend said, I dig that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I know at the show you had on your you work out too, because you had on your your muscles all out during the show.
I said I wish I went to the gym.
Shoot. Not going to that's the flex, not having to go to the gym.
Well, y'all pray for me one day I actually make.
Well, don't feel bad. I've been paying a whole year and hadn't made it yet.
Oh Lord. And I'm starting a gym because I want to be able all sexy fine for the
well, we'll be ready for November.
Exactly. So we'll see how that works out. But we got Aisha this Wednesday at the Mint Museum with, did you say Anthony Hamilton?
Anthony Hamilton will be there on the spot, on the dot.
Anthony Hamilton. Tickets
First,
are
you get to see
100.
him up close and personal. You can conversate and mingle and eat together.
Oh, so dinner is included, or is it
Dinner is
appetizers?
included. Dinner, hors d'oeuvres, fresh, fruit, wine. It's go, it's that kind of party.
Okay, okay. And we
It's,
can
and
reach.
the attire is casual. Is it
Is it
casual?
business casual?
I don't think it's business casual. I think it's casual, cocktail casual.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a new one for me.
Oh yeah.
Cocktail.
Look, I had to look it up to find out how I was gonna shop.
Okay. And the folks want to reach out to you after this event. So you take commissions,
Mhm.
um, you come out to paint live, and you uh, shoot.
Actually, I do
Michelle.
have a live session coming up with Miss Jennifer. I usually do the Women's March with her, but I think that's not happening until late November. We have an event coming up where I will be painting live.
Okay. So they can reach out to you on Instagram at
Sure can. It's Sketch Queen 40
Sketch Queen
on
40, and
all
that's your
platforms. Mhm.
on all platforms. Okay. And now, Spunk, what about you? Now we got you. You working on the final touches for a new album.
Right.
Okay, so we're definitely waiting on that. But you're open for
I'm
private contracts.
yeah,
Um,
just
you
go to my
know,
site. Just go to spunkadams.com. I can answer any questions, inquiries there. If you look Spunk Adams up on any digital platform, just you can scroll, listen to some music there, to kind of get a feel for who I am. But yeah,
okay, okay. So, and on Instagram, I think it's I am Spunk.
I am Spunk. But if you type in Spunk Adams, I'll come up everywhere.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, one thing I can say is that these two people are, the type of folks, when they say role models, I feel like you two are actual role models that, kids and adults can look up to. Um, because Spunk, like I said, you got out there and you took a risk. And was it easy?
No, I mean, I don't think it's easy. It's easy to not try things. It's hard to try things. It's easy to just do nothing.
And were you successful at the snap of a finger?
Absolutely not. And I mean, and honestly, even right now, I mean, success for me is not an end goal. It's a everyday consistent race that we run. You know, I don't have a mark in my mind that just says, hey, you've made it here, now you're successful. Any time, any day I wake up and I'm able to do what I love, change somebody's life, and just be a good human being, I'm successful.
Yes, yes. And I wanted to hear that because even having that talent etched into your DNA, it still took work and perseverance and continued work to
Yeah,
maintain the greatness.
Mhm.
And the same for you, right?
Yes, the consistency is important. And I think even as an artist, like he said, you can't just jump into it because you have skills. Those skills take time to mature. And I feel like I have matured a lot from the time that I started. And in the beginning, the art scene was scary because I mean you didn't know how you were going to get your feet wet. So and it's definitely not easy. So and every
So,
like you said, consistency and time.
so you're saying that you didn't know how, when you say get your feet wet, you didn't know.
I didn't know where to start. I mean, and what made me really get into it was COVID. I mean, I've always had the talent skills, but um how I learned, I observed, and I looked at what I was doing over the years because sometimes you have to look back at where you started to see how much further you have gone, and that will tell you.
And she was somebody out there. You got stuck for a second. You said, and
yeah,
what
no,
now?
when he was doing like this, I said, yeah, he get where I'm coming from, because you do have to you have to look back, because people say, oh, I don't look back, keep going. But no, if you don't look back, it will stagger you, because you'll stay in a certain realm in your life. So sometimes you have to look back to say, okay, and then you'll say, okay, I moved and move up. It's like a step. You go down one step, you see where that step is going at. You go up the second, you go down a few steps to check how you progress as you're going back up. Because you have to remind yourself where you started. And I feel like that's important, and why you started. And you have to stick to that goal. Like you said, you can't give up. You really do have to be consistent. It has to start within you, to want it. You have to want it bad enough, and and not just want it bad. It has to be a passion.
Yeah.
If you don't have a passion for it, it won't continue. It'll just be stagnant.
Can't fake it.
Right. Because nothing in life worth having is easy. And, you guys have put in the work, and we appreciate you. Now, everybody out there on all of these social media channels and whatnot, I want you to write these names down. Aisha Thomas, Sketch Queen 40, Spunk Adams on all social media networks. You need to book these people. Don't just look at them. Don't just scroll them on the internet. You need to actually look these folks up, Google their booking sites, go on Instagram, go on, Facebook, whatever it takes. Send them a message and tell them that you want them at your next event, because that's how we keep Black excellence going, is that we actually have to show appreciation and keep these artists working.
Yeah.
So last thing I'm going to say before we get out of here is that we want to see everybody at our event on November the 9th. It's going to be, I can't tell you how good it's going to be.
Come on now. Come on now.
Come on out. That's right.
The independent
Experience Black excellence. Like you said, experience Black excellence.
It's in I like to think of it as an old school Black Hollywood type thing. Everybody always talking about they don't have nowhere to go. They don't have no way to, nowhere to dress up. Where's the grown folks event? This is an event that gives you the best artists in Charlotte. And these best artists in Charlotte are good enough to be, and some are, international. So you getting firsthand attention from these artists. Don't wait around until they a lot of artists go to France, or they go to Greece, or wherever they go, and then we want to say, well, why did they leave? Because we're not giving them the support that they actually need. So let's show Aisha and Spunk make sure they get everything that they deserve. Thank you so much for coming out to Mic Check, Brushes, Brushstrokes, and Melodies. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lara.
And welcome. You can come back anytime.
Yes.
All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Mic Check, Brushstrokes, and Melodies. Like I said, please hit these artists up and make sure that you support them in all ways possible. Thank you. And come out to a night of artistic renewal. Representation equals power. You can pick your tickets up at www.anightofartisticrenewal.com or Eventbrite or anywhere else. Just Google it. We'll be there waiting on you.